The year is 1251, and King Henri of Aragon has recently unified his realm and his holdings from Iberia to Normandy. Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel and Crusader Kings 3 with the Angevin, the Plantagenets of Western Europe. So in the after the last episode, or after one of the previous episodes, I did get asked if England is still a target for this, and you know, we've got roughly about 200 years left in this playthrough, and we've played it for just under 200 years, so we're close to the halfway point in the timeline sense. And ideally, yes, England would still be a target for the Plantagenets. But I feel like, you know, the fate, the destiny, the hand of fate that Crusader Kings 3 can be, simply through Aragon, changed that a little bit, or at least threw us something unexpected. But right now, I still want to kind of alleviate this border gore a little bit, and what that would mean is obviously taking out these chunks here, and really this one before attacking this one. I'm still not overly concerned with the eastern parts of France, or now the Empire of Francia as it's known. I'm much more interested in what the historical lands of the Plantagenet kings were, which was basically this chunk right in here, excluding Brittany, and then England. That is still something I would like to do, but we'd need to find a way to organically do that, which is a little bit harder at this point. Because obviously the Plantagenets, okay, I was going to say they didn't come to the throne of England through force, even though you could make the argument that they did, but it was more about having the claim through Matilda and then King Henri II, and thus it came to be. But in Henry II, you could say he took the crown himself by force to a point. So there is that petition. Obviously, by 1251, this had long since played out that the Plantagenets were sitting the English throne, not the French throne, but we are sitting the Aragonese throne instead. Let me unpause the game here, put it on 1 speed as we progress forward. I mean, we have Aragon, we've got Barcelona, we have Toulouse, Languedoc. We, of course, have Poitiers. Dynasty head has changed again, which is just always a little odd. And there are a few little odd wrinkles in this game that I honestly do not quite understand. The dynasty head change on occasion just doesn't make sense to me. The AI in warfare is just, at times, just really bad. But overall, I still quite enjoy Crusader Kings 3. Let me know your thoughts on CK3. I know I did a video just a few weeks ago, may have been over a month ago, where I talked about the state of Crusader Kings 3, and is it great, or is it good, or is it bad? I still maintain it's good. I do not think it is great at this point in its development, but I think it's good. It's visually extremely appealing. It's a lot of fun to play still, but I do understand there are some people out there that are frustrated. There are still some game-breaking issues in there. German YouTuber that I watch a lot of, Steinmann, he had that kind of happen in his CK3 playthrough, and it brought it to a premature end, which was a shame, and I hope stuff like that doesn't happen here. If it does, then obviously we'll have to deal with it at a time. I feel like Paradox games overall right now are in a weird state. Victoria 3, you know, I've said this before, I am not enamored with the game. I was deeply disappointed in it. I think it has a ton of flaws in it. Obviously, I have no issue with an ahistorical playthrough. I mean, we've got an Aragonese kingdom in the middle of France. But there it was, at times you were encountering issues that were so ahistorical that it was immersion breaking for the way I like to play. And then, of course, Warfare and AI is just really bad. The latest DLC has a lot of people annoyed because it just basically adds a day-night cycle for $5. And to top it all off, apparently, I haven't used it, the sun actually rose in the west. So, you know, there are just some issues right now, but there are also games that I think are absolutely fantastic. Age of Wonders 4, I absolutely love. I really enjoy playing that game, and I think maybe I'll bring that here to the channel. And then, of course, one of my absolute favorites, Imperator Rome. But anyway, enough of those ramblings. Let's get into it today. Now, here's an interesting thing. We can get a claim from the Pope for Provence, for the Duchy of Provence. It costs us 710 piety. We have it, even though I like to kind of tank that piety up a little bit for the sake of asking the head of faith for gold. But the Provence wouldn't be a bad one to add here in southern France and basically grab the entire southern shoreline. We're not really tied to him in any specific way. He's allied with the Duke of Pisa, which is very much a, broken up faction. And Provence itself, I mean, you also have holdings here throughout central Italy, but the one I'm most interested in is right there. Overall, Duke Clotaire and Obatengi, they're relatively isolated. 8,700. He's got a decent size military. But with our allies, we would be able to take the Provence. It is interesting. So, you know what? You may as well. Claims hurt those who don't have them. Is my opinion on that. Yeah, it costs us a chunk of piety. That's fine. We'll rebuild that. If we can grab the Provence, that would be a huge, huge win to extend our lands here. And at that point, really, I mean, we could really think about declaring independence from Francia and establishing an Angevin empire. The first things first, let's take a look what's happening in here. So it looks like we've got an internal war in Languedoc. Our son, Prince André, is defending against Count Thierry and in the war for claim of the Duchy of Languedoc. So Count Thierry is looking to depose my son. I'm not a fan of that at all. Let's see, we've got Count Thierry. King Walter of Aquitaine is supporting him. And Count Deepak of Carcassonne. I don't know if I like the way this is going. We can't get him to stop. We can't join the war. We basically need to just watch it happen. So, Arsine's first steps. I hear a commotion from my daughter Arsine's chambers. Hastening inside, I see the wet nurse, Marguerite, is playing with Arsine. My liege, perfect timing. Arsine just took her first step, she shouts excitedly, holding my girl's hands. She tries to walk her around the room. A giant step for a child, a small step for a ruler. Excellent. Well, I mean, our son's just going to kind of have to deal with this here, because there's not really much we can do. Yeah, it's interesting he's being supported by the King of Aquitaine, because the Duchy of Languedoc would still stay in the Kingdom of Aragon. But taking out Aquitaine will definitely be an important thing to do. The Auvergne, that would be a nice one to go after as well. Armagnac would also be a good one to go for. Of course, here we have Gascon. But Auvergne, I'd be okay with that. And then, of course, we have Touraine itself, where we still have a claim to grab that from. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to send our Archbishop here. We're going to send him to Auvergne, to the Heartlands, and see about gaining a claim there. How are we looking here? Right now, the relative military strength, they've got 72,000 versus 148,000. So it launches in 3 months. I think in the meantime, what we're going to do is actually declare war here on Brittany. Let's see, which one would we want? I mean, Bellac or La Marche? Tax revenue from Bellac is significantly higher, so that is the better target. So I think that's the target we're going to go after here. So along those lines, let's see here. Still in a truce. How long is that truce still going to go? 6 more months. So we have to wait until March of 1252 before we can declare that war. That's fine. In the meantime, we're just going to kind of sit around and honestly wait a little bit. Queen Estefania has gained the trait of being pregnant, and we've got a new diplomacy lifestyle perk, and we've got a crusade to begin here. Okay, so first we're going to go to the lifestyle perk. Actually, no, we're not going to do that first. We're going to deal with this first, because obviously we have to. Deus Vult. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Tahert. Inflamed by righteous fury and unyielding resolve, the great army of Crusaders assembled by Pope Innocentius sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. Alright, so we're going to rally the troops here in a second. But first I want to pick something here, so we can go Ducal Conquest, so title creation cost minus 20%, which I do kind of like. And a Casus Belli that allows the seizure of counties required to create an uncreated title of duchy rank, which is nice. Adaptive Traditions, max learned language schemes +1, foreign affairs effectiveness +25%, and defensive negotiations, fellow vassal opinion +15, dependent ruler opinion +15, can propose one alliance without marriage. We are definitely going to go down that one, because that way we could look at proposing an alliance. So we're going to raise our armies now. Of course, we had them, our rally point in and around Brittany, but we're not going to do that at this point. Let's consolidate our troops here, bring them to the coast. And what I will do, though, is move our rally point back home for now, back to the capital. Once we have our soldiers organized here along the coast, we will then set forth. Our sins first teething. With my leave, my daughter Arsinde and her wet nurse parade into my chamber. Marguerite poses like a herald and proclaims, "My liege, you witness a monumental occasion. Arsinde has a mighty gift to offer you." Go ahead, Arsinde, tell him. "Father, I lost a tooth." My daughter proudly presents her toothless smile, giving me a pouch with the fallen tooth inside. Lovely, but keep your tooth as a good charm. Here, a gift befits a gift. 40? I give my kids $1. I don't have time for this. No. We'll do something nice, but 40 gold for a tooth? I mean, I know you're royalty and all, but give me a break. So, now, let's take a look where we would want to land in North Africa. Of course, we could go just march all the way down here. But I think instead what we're going to do is we're going to land our troops down here in Magravit, right on the coast, or right here. Well, let's head all the way down here and just keep an eye on the developments as our troops sail. I mean, we're losing a good chunk of money every month, which is to be expected at this point. And our culture has discovered scutage. Here comes a large Crusader army. They'll be landing there, then coming across here, heading down south there. There's a huge enemy contingent right there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Many more Crusaders are coming in here as well. The English are landing. We shall be joining this as well relatively soon. The Assadid Empire here to the south. Keep an eye on them. But in the meantime, the Crusaders are losing some battles already. So you can see the Crusaders are all across the land here. They lost their first battle. If they're going to consolidate here and swarm into those lands, that would make the most sun. With a diary of blissful smile, Stefania presents me with a perfect little son. Aldebert. Guy, Nuno, Munio. Let's go with Bohemond. I can just see how everyone is swarming in here. Oh, there we are. I was wondering where we were. Oh, we already lost. That's what happened. We already lost, and we are now going across the desert. So that battle didn't end well. Lost a little bit of... Because there are so many swarming here, I honestly completely lost track of where everybody was. So this crusade is going about as well as it's ever been. So, looks like we've gotten the claim on the county of Auvergne. See it done. And once again, disorganized Crusaders are losing every battle they are in. And our army is just marching across the desert. More and more Crusader armies are swarming in. But, you know, this disorganization is not helping any at all. You can see here, it's going about as well as it always is. Our troops are now sitting here, and we need to move to other places. I think let's just move across. It's a bit of a death march. We'll move back towards the coast. Our sister Sarah has died. That adds stress there. Ashes to ashes, rust to antiquarian Pernell approaches me, holding my Brunfort spear in her hand. Melige, while I was cleaning the armory, I noticed that this here weapon has rusted away to almost nothing. What should we do with it? Nah, it's too expensive. 205 gold. No, we're in the midst of war, of a crusade that is not going well. So we basically have to leave it. We're going to move our army over here to Marakesh and see if there are enemy forces in here or not. Our sins first enrobing. As I patiently await the fetching of my clothes, the servant stutters, "My lord, no one can find your garments. I'm surrounded by incompetence," I mutter, storming from my bedchamber. It's in the nursery of my daughter, Arsine, that I discover not only my raiments, but also the girl's wet nurse. I had no part in it, my liege. She dressed herself. The little scoundrel. So she's a princess of fashion. Just gained that little nickname, but we'll keep an eye on our army here that's marching across the Sahara. We'll get back to Marakesh, closer to the coast, and keep an eye on how things are going here. Things are not going well for the Crusaders, to say the least. We're at minus 38 war score. Large North African army right there. And all the Crusaders are just sitting right here, disorganized as always. And we're just going to head over here to Marakesh and try to do our best or worst. Loyalty or fear? As their king, my vassals owe me their allegiance. My word is law, but how much is obedience without devotion? We'll win their unwavering loyalty, so we'll be a generous liege for 10 years. And keep an eye on this. There's that large North African army moving in here. If the Crusaders can all somehow get a semblance of organization, they could actually pull this thing off. But it's So far, it's not looking good. Greetings, my benevolent liege. I have arrived in Angers to pay homage. Duke Pierre of Aragon. Show Duke Pierre in. He kneels and etc., etc. The oaths are taken. Record his pledges. And we get another 50 gold plus 150 prestige. So now the siege of Marakesh begins with our severely weakened forces. But over here, it looks like a battle was won. Or at least they retreated. So now, if they're swarming in here, and they can take some lands there, we'll just do our little sieging here in North Africa. Might as well. Unconditionally, as I lean over the map in the council chamber, a sudden creak turns my head towards the door. My daughter Asinde appears in the hallway, running like wind towards me, shrieking, "Hugs!" She leans in close and encloses my hips in a firm hug. I look at her, a hidden tear in my eye, while my hand is stroking her hair, an effort to reciprocate the gesture. You're a good daughter. So we lose some stress, very important. And her first words, I thought we already had that. By God and sword, how delightful. A warrior princess. So we're going to take Marakesh. At least that's the goal right now. We still have quite a lot of time. And then we're just going to siege down here and loot and raid and get some cash out of this endeavor. Meanwhile, here, see these guys, it's a matter of keeping an eye on them. And they don't come back here and cause us many problems. Valeran has come of age. Attention drifted elsewhere as he grew older. Hardly studious, he at least managed to memorize certain choice quotes from the classics. They grew up so fast. And we will finalize that. Marriage and further ties to Castile. So just a few more days and Marakesh will be ours, and then we're just gonna move here straight to the coast. So Marakesh is 1. And now I think we'll just move here and start sieging along the coast. I mean, this is really hard to see graphically. That's not coming across at all. I mean, it's basically the papal colors, and those are not working. Not working for me right now. So now the siege of Asfi has begun. And then we'll continue working our way up the coast here in basically modern-day Morocco. So the war score has now tipped almost. It's at -3%. I don't know where all of these Crusaders are heading right now. But it's as chaotic as it always has been in CK3. 2 large armies in the field here. Everyone will come together now. But it'll be too little too late to support that battle. So that'll be a lost battle. And a huge swing in war score here. As that battle keeps raging on, as more reinforcements come in to lose a battle that has been lost. And now it's at 51%. Yikes. I want to stay here along the coast in case that large or North African host moves towards us. We can move a little bit. Call to war. My dear uncle, I call on our alliance. Join war against tyranny of King Madog. Sure, we shall accept. We're going to move up here along the coast and continue our raiding and pillaging of North Africa. And then eventually move on. King Thomas has joined that war. So, who are we fighting against? Defender, King of Wales, and the King of Scotland. And do dynasty perk here. Embassies, so learn language. Each alliance grants +1 here to diplomacy. Or we can do ducal conquest. So I think we'll do ducal conquest next. And here we're just gonna keep moving until we just raid and siege and raid and siege. Being tied in a war here obviously doesn't help our nephew in his war in Wales, which to a degree I feel like we need to honor more than this, per se. Because if we look at this, I mean, that's... there's nothing we can do here. I mean, that's an ill-conceived war he's gotten himself into. He's going to lose this one badly. I mean, with the Scottish and the Welsh, that's just overwhelming odds against him. So we're going to stick down here in North Africa for now. And just keep an eye on things. So right now, they are still engaged up here, but, ooh, minus 67%. Not good. Not even a little good. Next, we're going to move up here. And then once we get an inkling that they are going to swarm back here, we're just going to leave. My benevolent liege, I have discovered that Count Blaive's inherited contract obliges him to more than you have collected. Time to right this wrong. So he gets to pay more taxes. So the next siege is 1. Now we will move up this way. Anjou dynasty is very well known, far and wide. And again, once these guys come over far enough this way, we're just going to break it off and leave North Africa. Because right now it is not looking good for the Crusader armies. Not even a little. And all I can put that down to is, see here, they're landing here now on the coast south of us. All I can really put that down to is CK3's bad war AI. Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye here. Once they cross over here, once they kind of get here into the Atlas Mountains, we're going to leave. I mean, you can see here a large army is coming. I'd like to finish this siege, but if nothing else, we're going to hightail it out of here. Once we can perceive a threat, we are gone. The 99% war score loss there. I mean, that was clear in Wales. That was an ill-conceived war. That was strategically naive from our nephew. We're going to win this siege here. And a mark of distinction. As renown of my dynasty grows, familiarity with the glorious d'Anjou sigil spreads. My family's emblem is now common knowledge, listed among the great royal families of the region and the highest nobility of the Angevin, as it should be. So now, let's move up here to Tangier. Just gonna keep sieging down this defeat, so be it. We lost that war, or better said, our nephew lost that war. And we have an empty council position. We need a new spy master. Marguerite. She's an elusive shadow. And we will assign her. And she's got a good amount of loyalty towards us as well. So there's a large army sitting right here. Right there. And Crusaders are all the way over here. And this large contingency of North Africans are sitting here. They're sieging back their lost territories, is what they're doing. But we're not going to move further in here. That would just be insanity. But we're going to keep an eye on these guys. So we can see some are moving over. And if they move over too far, we are going to be leaving. Okay, they're starting to move to the west, but not too terribly far. So we won another siege, got more cash in the bank. I mean, it's been a fantastic raiding season. But we have to see what the deal is here. Where are we sitting here? We got 85,000 soldiers on the Crusader side and 59,000 amongst the Maghra Wavid Emirate side. So in theory, they should be winning. They really should be, but that disorganization that you have, which, you know, isn't entirely ahistorical. It did happen more often than not. We can ask our head of faith for gold. We're going to do that. He's not going to do that because he does not have the money. Well, fair enough. The Pope is obviously in the middle of a crusade and has no cash. We're going to keep that in our back pocket right now. I'm just going to wait for our army to rebuild a little bit. See, is there any enemy down here? I don't see any. We could risk it now and move along the coast because they've drawn all together here. So yes, I think we're going to do that now. So we're going to start the siege of Zepta. And there's a huge victory here for the Crusader armies. They smashed the enemy. But then they engage in these silly little skirmishes. And now where did everybody go? I mean, it's so chaotic when you get into these crusades. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, now a huge 29%. For the first time, we're seeing it go in the favor of the Crusaders. So we're just going to continue doing what we're doing. We're going to continue our sieges here. Here comes a small army heading our way. One that will not trouble us too much. And we'll just continue sieging along the coast then. Another siege 1. Now we're going to head a little closer to danger. But not too far. The enemy's armies have been quite decimated. And it looks like Emperor Julien has declared war on Emperor Dobogost. Oh, so Francia versus the Holy Roman Empire in the midst of a crusade. Wow. And now the crusade is going in the Crusader army's favor. What we're going to then do is going to start sieging down these lands next. Once we're done here with the coast. Exotic arms, along with their strange goods, merchants bring tales from distant lands, unverifiable, full of wonder. A group of Cisalpine peddlers purport to have brought Kanauji objects, said to have come from the faraway court of the great ruler, Maharaja Salhana of the, oh lord, Pushkaranadipid kingdom, no less. Katarina, the leading trader, grins darkly. This unique armor could be yours for a special price, of course. Great king. A likely yarn indeed, if only I had some way to verify the hawker story. Fetch me my coin purse. 430? No, we just can't. I mean, we're gonna gain stress because we're trusting, but he's not stupid. He can't afford to spend that kind of money. We'll just take the stress hit because it would be insane otherwise. I'm just keeping an eye on those armies as they coalesce. We've got a large Bavarian army here, a Norland army there. That's a tight battle here. That's a really tight battle. If they can break off and support and get there fast enough, are they going to support? They're not going to support. Lure of language, ruling the multicultural kingdom of Aragon, comes with its own set of challenges. Foreign subjects often feel alienated. So, my vassal Duchess Cesarea suggests I could significantly improve relations with the Catalan subjects by learning it. Time to hit the books. Well, he's lazy. So he would, I mean, he's kind of lazy. Hire a tutor to instruct me. No, he's not going to spend that kind of money. Why bother? Angevin is clearly superior. He's too lazy. He's not going to learn a language. I mean, that's actually a trait he has, is laziness. So he's not going to do that. So there's a small army we could go after. But we're just going to continue with our sieges right now. And see how this goes. I mean, we're winning a fair amount of territory, which will be good for us. Once this siege is won, we'll start re-sieging some of these lands. Okay, so those guys are there. We could move over there and try to smash them. New dynasty or diplomacy perk. Forced vassalage. Embassy's adoptive traditions. Forced vassalage. Casus belli. So allowing for the forceful vassalization of a neighboring independent ruler of lower rank. Yes, we will unlock that one next. So if these large armies are going to start sieging here, are they going after these remaining armies? Oh, there's a large force building over there. Let's see, what do we want to do? I guess it's a matter of seeing where they go and where the remaining Crusaders go. And there's a very large army there. I want nothing to do with that. So we're going to move back here. We're going to take those guys on. Just keep an eye on that army. There are some large armies down here. Some very large ones now. And that is concerning. And there's a large army right behind us. Greetings, my liege. I have a right Alger to pay homage to you. Count Bouchard of Bayeux. And, of course, we will take him in. The usual, and our glory is widely known. So that's too big of an army. That's too big of an army. Things are starting to sway again in the wrong direction. So what we could do is circumvent all of that and head over that way, because it's getting a little too hot over here. So we are going to go along the coast. We're going to set sail. We're going to leave that area. And they have almost reclaimed most of those lands. I'm just not going to take... I mean, I could take part in these battles, but I feel like there's not much to gain. I mean, you can see this large army gathering here. If they would just go in there, they could smash them and be done with it, but they're just going to sit here. They're not going to come in and support that battle, which is just insane. It is just insane. CK3, you have to be better. Oh, God. How could you do this to Constance? Our 24-year-old Prince Constance, who was married to Infante Nunez of Castile, has passed away. That's very, very sad. Died in childbirth. We're getting awfully close here to the edge when it comes to stress levels. But we're just going to land up here. We're going to start sieging now in this part of North Africa. And try to be as far away from the danger as possible. It's basically looting and pillaging is the goal here. And let all these guys fight this stuff. We got drawn into one battle right in the beginning. That didn't go well for us. And I have no interest in doing that again. So we're going to stay over here and we're going to siege down these coastal regions. So we need a guardian here for Arsind. Arsind diplomacy is a strength for her. So diplomacy, no one's better than me. I shall be her tutor. We have a number of prisoners that can be ransomed. So let me take a look there real quick. Anything here for gold? That would be the one. I want cash. You can see the war score once again is not going in the Crusaders' favor. This could be one of the incredibly long and drawn out crusade. It was at 76% at one point, so it looked pretty good, but it looks like the North African armies have reclaimed a lot of the lost lands, lost to at our hands here in the Sassanid Emirate. And we're just going to stay out of the fight and just do our little raiding and sieging efforts here. A little Viking, little Norman. And now it's down to 21%, so they definitely gained a lot back there. And now we can go somewhere else along the coast. Let's head out here. Coastal raiding is just fun. What we could do is actually turn our attention back this way, get closer to this nightmarish fray, but honestly, I'm not interested. Here, it's a winnable battle. Again, there are enough Crusaders around there, and they're just not going to join. They're just not going to join. A few of them have been beaten because, again, the AI sucks at warfare. Here comes an army now. Pretty decent-sized one. They're going to pop up through the desert, or are they heading back south? They're heading back south. Here, the war between a de jure war for the Duchy of Transurania. Actually, let's take a look at that. So, really? You're fighting over that? You're fighting over this? That's what you're going to war over? Jura, yeah, Switzerland area here. I mean, that's the big war goal for our emperor, is that? Okay. Interesting. Doesn't sound overly ambitious, but, you know, he knows his business better than I do. Another papal army is coming here. They're going to be landing over here. In the meantime, we can see from Iberia, more swarming in. Battle is commencing over here. So, really, the theater of war has shifted from here to here to here to now here. And we've gone from over here over to this place. And we have won another siege and taken more coin. I mean, this has been very profitable for us with the raiding. But I think that's where we're going to end today's episode in the midst of this very, very long crusade. It's been going on now for 5 years. It started in 1252. It's now November of 1257. So this is this is the longest crusade so far in this series. Let me know what you're thinking of this crusade, and in general, your thoughts on Crusader Kings 3. And if my frustrations with the AI are justified or not. Don't forget to check out the links down below to Patreon and so forth. Until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.